Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back into another edition of Key Time Sports. It's Key Time coming back to talk about last night's Western Conference Finals Game 2 performance between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the OKC Thunder, and Game 2 in the Eastern Conference Finals series that starts tonight at 8 o'clock between the Indiana Pacers and New York Knicks. Now, the first game I'm going to talk about is the Minnesota Timberwolves and the OKC Thunder. And OKC Thunder, they did the exact same thing that they did in game one. But Shea Gildress Alexander had an more efficient night. Now, as you can see from the Minnesota Timberwolves, I'm gonna go to their starters first, and then I'm gonna tell y'all the story about where I see this series going. So Julius Randle had 6 points. Jaden McDaniels, 22 points. He had a good game. Rudy Gobert, 5 points. Mike Conley, 3 points. Anthony Edwards, 32 points. Nas Reed, bench production for the Timberwolves. Nas Reed, 10 points. Jesse Edwards, 0 points. Bones Highland, 0 points. Dante DiVincenzo, 8 points. Nickel Alexander Walker, 17 points. Tristan Newton, 0 points. Now, one thing I can say about the Minnesota Timberwolves, all throughout this season, we projected them to, be in the top four of the NBA, but all throughout the entirety of this season, they've just been hovering. They have been very mid and average. Now, Western Conference, they were at the number 7 spot for most of the season. For them to be at the number 7 spot and get here, it was just based off of luck and who they played previously in the playoffs, like the Lakers and the Warriors. And we all know both of those teams wasn't at full strength most of the time. But now, since the Timberwolves, they played against the best team in the Western Conference and the best team in the NBA, which is the Thunder, we see where the Timberwolves, they got their hands tied behind their back, and it seemed like that they don't know how to defend at all. Because just look at these statistics for the OKC Thunder. You see, like I always said, their starting five, they can be balanced. And I mean, you saw it last night that they were balanced. Chet Holmgren, 22 points. Jalen Williams, 26 points. Isaiah Hartenstein, 6 points. Shea Gillis Alexander, 38 points. Lou Gaz Dort, 9 points. Bench production for the Thunder. Adam Flagler, he didn't play, 0 points. Kenrick Williams, 0 points. Brandon Carlson, 0 points. Alex Caruso. Now, Alex Caruso, he is one of the X factors for this series. He is for the Oklahoma City Thunder. He had 9 points. Isaiah Joe Aaron Wiggins and Alex Duckers had 0 points. And Cason Wallace had 8 points. Now, I have those two as X factors too. Now, they are X factors in the defensive sense because they can give you some valuable minutes on the defensive side, but they are not offensive players. Now, OKC, what can they do? Go on the road and can they win in Minnesota? Yes. I think if the Timberwolves do not win one game and send it back to OKC, the series is over with. Now, like I said, that this series would go to a game 7, but the way that the Minnesota Timberwolves are playing, I could see this series easily ending in 5 games, if not a sweep, because the interior for the Timberwolves, that they lack defensive interior. You have Rudy Gobert out there, and you have to pull him out in the fourth quarter because he is unplayable in the fourth quarter. It's been like that for him when he was at Utah, and since he's been here, it's been like that all throughout his career. So if I'm the OKC Thunder, I'm about to get greedy now. I'm up 2 games. I need some rest. I need some rest to get ready for the NBA Finals. I would, if I was the OKC Thunder, win game 3 and 4, and you have, let's see, you will have an 8-day layoff from the conference finals to the NBA Finals. So if you are the OKC Thunder and OKC Thunder fans, you do not want to lose this momentum because you have the Minnesota Timberwolves on the ropes right now. And when that rope pop, that means that everything their season is over with. So that's all I have for the Minnesota Timberwolves and the OKC Thunder. Everybody, I knew that this show on YouTube was going to go a bit quick today since I'm only talking about 2 matchups. So now let me go to the New York Knicks and the Indiana Pacers. So Indiana Pacers, they had a great win in game 1. New York Knicks, they should have won game 1, and everybody knows what transpired with the Knicks having a 17-point lead with 6 minutes left, and then them having a 12-point lead with under 3 minutes left, and then somehow the game wound up in overtime. But tonight, New York Knicks, they have got to pretty much lay it all on the table because you cannot go down 2-0 against Indiana going back to Indianapolis to play the Pacers. That is not going to happen. So as far as lineups concerned, nothing is going to change with the Pacers lineup or the New York Knicks lineup. So the Pacers, one thing I can say is that as far as defense, they don't emphasize defense at all. They just don't. They don't emphasize defense. And you have the New York Knicks that emphasize defense so much to where, as far as offense, they have a couple of lapses here and there, a couple of shooting droughts, and that might be the game and the series for the New York Knicks. So I still got the New York Knicks winning this series. My confidence is not wavering, but one thing I can say is that if the Knicks go down 2-0, it won't be looking good. It just won't be. Because like I've been saying over the past 3 days, the better story in this case is the New York Knicks, but the Indiana Pacers aren't no slouch. Excuse me. Indiana Pacers aren't no slouch. OKC isn't a slouch. Minnesota, their season is hanging by a thread after game 2 last night. And Pacers, defensively, that's where the Knicks need to attack. That's where the Knicks need to attack the Pacers. And what the New York Knicks need to do, they need to slow the tempo down because the Knicks, they aren't used to playing fast tempo. I noticed at halftime of game 1, the New York Knicks, they had like 60, 65 points, 70 points. If they keep playing like that, they're playing right into the Pacers' hands. They are, because Tom Thibodeau, he doesn't like fast pace. He likes the game to be slowed down, make it a half court game, have good half court defense, and then have good half court defense, keep the game close, because that's what Tom Thibodeau harps on, keeping the game close and then having a chance to win in the last few seconds of the game. So that's what the New York Knicks game plan is. Tyrese Halliburton. Do I think Tyrese Halliburton is a star? Yes, I do think Tyrese Halliburton is a star. And everybody that says that Tyrese Halliburton isn't a star, y'all need to check y'all credentials, and everybody knows who I'm talking about. All the jokers on ESPN, Fox Sports, whatever sports network you are associated with, y'all need to go ahead and give Tyrese Halliburton the recognition that he deserves. Because throughout these playoffs, he has been averaging 28 points in every playoff game. Now, isn't that superstar material? Isn't that superstar material? I'm going to start just name dropping people. Isn't that superstar material Stephen A. Smith? Isn't that superstar material Monica McNutt? Isn't that superstar material Colin Cowherd? Isn't that superstar material Nick Wright? I mean, hey, it's a lot more people I can go down a list on that says that Tyrese Halliburton, he's a good player, but he's an above average player. No, Tyrese Halliburton is a superstar. And to all the people that anonymously voted for him as the most overrated player, y'all need to come out and show y'all faces. Y'all do, because obviously y'all don't know how basketball is played. And all these player evaluators, you don't know what the hell you're talking about when you try to evaluate a player, because you just don't. Like, let me tell you, it was one player a few years ago where everybody, and I do mean everybody in the NBA, built this player up, and he's out of the league now. So those NBA evaluators, they don't know what they're talking about at all. And also NFL quarterback evaluators, you don't know what you're talking about. Do y'all know that most of them quarterback evaluators and basketball evaluators haven't played haven't played football or basketball before? So how, and I do mean how, can you evaluate a player if you haven't played the game on a certain level? I just don't know about that. The evaluators, they cannot say anything. That's why I say all you people out there that's trying to find somebody that knows what the hell they talking about, you need to look at me, because I played football back in middle school. I played basketball in high school. So I know what I'm talking about. And I know the veracity of the game and how that momentum can shift at the drop of a hat. These guys, these so-called experts, they don't know. They just there for a damn paycheck. They just there for a damn paycheck. So that's why I say these evaluators, one thing, they just need to be quiet. But one thing, they need to be quiet because they just need to let everything transpire. Now, one thing I can say is everybody knows that the NBA, once they start the season back up, Michael Jordan is going to join the Michael Jordan is going to join the basketball Sports Center cast on NBC. So outside of that, I'm happy about that. But anybody else that talk basketball, they just don't know what they just don't know what they're talking about. There are a few people that I listen to when it comes to basketball, and it's people that have won championships. Somebody like Charles Barkley, I'm not gonna listen to him. And anybody that listen to Charles Barkley, you can listen to him for a minute, but when he start talking about championships, you can't listen to him. You need to listen. Anybody that watches basketball, you need to listen to people like Shaquille O'Neal, Horace Grant, or Michael Jordan. That's who you need to listen to. Or, like I said, these players and coaches that are coaching right now. But like I said, evaluators, I ain't worried about y'all because y'all don't know what y'all talking about. And with that, those are my reactions to last night's Western Conference Finals Game 2 performance between the Minnesota Timberwolves and OKC Thunder, and my prediction for the Indiana Pacers and New York Knicks for Game 2 tonight. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, click the notification bell to get notified of all of my reaction video shows, and other content. We are also doing an expansion right here on YouTube, and we are doing an expansion on Instagram. And don't touch that dial. I will be doing an Instagram show in a few minutes. So before you end, before I go off this stream, I am going to go ahead and put my Instagram show together. So give me about 10 minutes. And remember, everybody, one last thing. The key is always on time. All right, Mark.